Hello and welcome back to another edition of Tube Talk. Today it is a little bit different because me, Kate Bosma, is the host
And
interviewer.
it's quite exciting. So poor Sophie's sick. Had to pick her up from school, take her home.
Yes.
So she's sick. So Kate has stepped into the breach.
Mhm.
She's been doing a fine job.
So,
We'll have to see how you go and see if we have any comments from people saying Kate was excellent, or sack her, get rid of her, bring back Sophie. So please comment below whether you like Kate or not.
okay,
And
let's
her
get
interviewing skills.
right into it.
Into
So, last week we had Demelza with a very good second at Taronga.
We did. She's a horse that's taken a while for the penny to drop, but we think she's a very talented stayer in the making. She's gone 3 good runs in a row now, and last week at Tauranga over a mile, she was very good. She just sat 3 and 4 wide for the last 800, had to do quite a lot of work. Probably just a little bit too much work, which was different between winning and running second, but she's certainly very close to another win, and I think next season she'll be even better.
Great. So, we're not even going to talk about Bird of the Week. It's too shameful.
It was shameful. We had better than we get Tauranga and it's still running. Well, it's not. It wasn't that bad, but we've been really good in our bets of the week, but we weren't good last week. So let's forget about that.
Okay.
Put it to one side, and then we shall have a new bet of the week this
Okay.
week.
Start fresh. So, this week, on Friday night in Singapore, in race 4, we have Holy Grail.
We do. And he is a horse that has been a little bit, again, slow to pick up the racing game. And his first preparation wasn't too exciting. But now this preparation, he's trialled well twice, and as he gets over more and more ground, he's going to get better and better. And his first up, his run was actually very good. He ran 7th, but he was back last for much of the way, and he was just warming up in the straight over 1,400 metres, hitting the line well. So he steps up to 1,600 metres on Friday night. There's only 9 in the race. Unfortunately, we've worn barrier 9 and 9, which means he'll probably race without cover. But I think we'll go roll forward with him and see if we can get him handy. And I think we'll see him continue to improve over his next few starts. And I think he's a genuine top 3 chance on Friday night.
That's good. Also on Friday night in Singapore, in race 9, we have Billy Mojo.
And Billy Mojo's been racing well without a lot of luck. He keeps drawing wide barriers and having to do a lot of work early in his races, and then getting run down late. And he's run 2nd, 3rd and 5th in 3 of his last 4 starts. Now on Friday night it's a little bit different. He's drawn barrier 4. There's a ballot which should come out, so he'll come into barrier 3, which means he's not going to have to do as much work this time, and he should be able to sit outside the lead or trail and be reasonably handy. And if he can do that with a bit of cover, and he can just not do as much work as he has in recent times, he's going to be a genuine winning chance on Friday night. It'd be great to see him break 3 for his first win.
That's great. So, on Saturday at Ellerslie, in race 5, we have Passing Shot.
Yeah, now one of the problems this week, Kate, has been the rain we've had.
It's not ready now, but...
It's not raining now, but we've had quite a bit of rain, and you can even hear it at night, can't you?
Yeah.
And it's pouring down, and it's interrupted some of our dodgeball games in the backyard in the evenings. And the problem with that is Passing Shot really likes it firm rather than wet. And Ellerslie was a heavy 11 on Thursday. I think it'll come back into the slow range. And he's a horse who ran really good 3 starts back. He ran 2nd, and he's been badly ridden his last 2 starts. But I think he's going a little bit better than what his last 2 starts show us. It's 90% sure this is his last race before he goes out for a long break of 3 months. So it's a small field, and we might just run him. We might just run him and just put him wherever he's happy hold him up and give him one run and see what he does, because he's going out anyway. So while track conditions may not suit, maybe a small field, he gets him with a good weight this week, and we may just run him and roll the dice and see what happens. But I can't give you a line on. I don't know what he's going to do.
Okay. Well then, and also on Saturday at Ellerslie, in race 6, we have Prince Mambo.
Prince Mambo over 1,500 metres. He's drawn barrier 2. And he's been leading and racing handy. He led last time, but he just got taken on a bit too much in the race. We couldn't finish off in the straight. So I think he'll race handy with him, but we won't necessarily lead. From barrier 2, he should be able to get pretty handy pretty quickly with Sam Spratt on board. And we'll just try and get him into a nice rhythm. I think the track, he won on a slow 8 track at Taranaki, so I don't think the wet track will bother him. If anything, he'll like it. So I'm not worried about that. My one concern really is he doesn't seem to be as good racing right-handed, and he's never placed at Ellerslie, although he did have one good race there over summer. So the track's conditions should be in his favour. Hopefully we can get reasonably handy and not do too much work. He's a horse that at some point he's going to say, I need a break, and that's probably my only concern, whether he needs a break or not.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on a wet track at Ellerslie.
Okay, so in Manawatu.
So it's Manu, like Manu of MKR, Watu,
Yeah.
Manawatu.
Okay. In Manawatu, race 6, Group 1 size produce stake, we have Has a Halo.
Has a Halo, outstanding group winning 2-year-old. Her last start, the Group 1 Steamer Stakes, where she ran 5th, was a good run. She missed the start, we wanted to be right behind the speed, and we ended up being last, and she made really good ground for 5th. So it was a good run. The track was quite holding that day, and she couldn't really sprint on it. The track's likely to be wet at Manawatu, likely to be sort of in the slow to heavy range, probably slow. But we will run her because we've decided a wet, slow, genuine slow track she may be able to sprint in it as opposed to a holding track, and we don't know. So it's a Group 1. So it's the last Group 1 as a 2-year-old, so she deserves her opportunity and to find out whether she handles tracks like that, and then we'll also know for the future. One thing against her is she's drawn barrier 16.
That's
It's pretty bad. She'll come into 14. And when the draws came out, we were very disappointed. But subsequent to that, if the track is wet, often it suits horses coming wider on the track down the outside. So she'll be ridden cold out of the barriers and be allowed to find her feet, given plenty of time to find her feet. And we will look to see if we can boom down the outside. That'll be a wonderful way for her to end her season by winning a Group 1. So it's a little bit of, she's a very, very good horse, but a little bit of not quite sure how she's going to handle the conditions.
Okay, so this one's a bit of a tricky one. Okay, in race 7.
We'll talk about one at a time. You pick one.
Okay, so race 7, listed flying handicap, we have Mighty Solomon.
We do. We have 2 runners in the race. The first one we'll talk about is Mighty Solomon. So Mighty Solomon has been plagued by carrying massive weights in very strong fields over the last couple of years. He gets into this race with 58.5 kilos, which is a big weight, but it's not as big as what he's carried, and the opposition is a bit weaker than what he's been racing against. He's on his favourite track and over his favourite distance, 1,400 metres. So I don't think he'll mind a slow track. A heavy track I don't think he'll really like, but a slow track I think will be fine for him. So if he's drawn a bit wide, he'll probably get a bit back, and as long as there's reasonable speed on, I think he's a good winning chance, good chance to get back into form. Would have loved it. Over the River was nominated, and if he'd run, Mo Solomon would have carried 57 kilos, and that was a winning weight for him. And 58.5 makes it a bit more difficult, but he's a genuine winning chance with Kelly McCulloch in the saddle.
That's good. Also in that race, we have Seize the Moment.
Yes, and Seize the Moment unfortunately has to carry 60 kilos. It's a big weight. He was going to be 58.5 before Over the River came out. And at 60 kilos, it makes it awfully tough for him. He shouldn't mind the slow track. He ran second on a heavy track. I think it was heavy there last year. He'll go forward and he'll probably sit second or third. But it's very, very hard to on the 60 kilos. He's racing against a horse called Shadow Fox that carried 3 kilos less than him last start and bet him, and he's carrying 4 kilos less than him on Saturday. So he's just in a bad place at the weights at the moment. So it makes it very tough for him, but he's a genuine, honest performer, and he'll run another good race. If he doesn't run another good race, he's telling us he's tired and he wants a break.
Okay, now we're on to hopefully a better bet of the week.
Nice, Kate. A better bet of the week.
Yes. So also at Manawatu, in race 8 is Benzini.
Benzini, yeah. He's in the Manawatu Gold Cup, which is a Group 2 set weights and penalties $100,000 race. He's a very highly rated horse, raced in Hong Kong with great credit in December. He gets in with only 57 kilos. His run in the Group 1 Zabeel Classic last start was super run. He ran second. Great distance, very good weight. I think he's the quality horse of the field. And I think anything above $2.50 is great money for him. I don't think track conditions will bother him. So I think Benzini is the bet of the week, as long as we can get at least $2.50 on him.
Okay, well that wraps it up for this edition of Tube Talk.
Thank you very much, Kate.
You're welcome.
And we shall be back next week.
Hopefully with Sophie.
Hopefully with Sophie. And we'll see how last weekend went, and we'll look forward to the races then.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.